Hello, today we're going to work on producing interactive content into the cooking website using JavaScript. So we will start off with our files for our cooking website, and we have the index file and the tie file. These are the web pages which we'll open in Notepad++, and we'll work with the script file which we'll also open, which is our JavaScript file, which we'll also open in Notepad++. So to look at what we've got so far, we've got this website, and we're going to go to the tie page. We want to be able to move our mouse over the pictures and they will enlarge. As you can see, when we click on a picture, we have it placed over there. Click on another picture, it gets placed there, and so on. And we click on that picture and it gets placed there. The other thing we want to do is to make this, as you can see, the JavaScript has been added to make this text large. When you move over it and when you move away, it goes back to small. This is to help people with sight problems so they can read it better when they move their mouse over it. Then on the home page, we have a news ticker. You can see that there. The news ticker. Right, so let's see how we do this using JavaScript. First of all, we'll open our index page. Let's start index page. So we will start with the index page, and here it is. And to get the news ticker in, it is down over here. We have this code that I'm highlighting, that which I copied, used. Yes, we can reuse code from our file, our JavaScript document that I shared with you. You'll see we have the code right here. This is in the HTML page, but you have to use the this extra code here. Where is it now? Go back. Where we have the BG color equals white on load scrolling message, so that line has to be included along with the form. That is the form in which the text will appear, and this is just setting up the actual message box and making background color white in the opening body tag. Now that is the HTML file. What happens in the JavaScript file? So we'll see the JavaScript file there. We open it in Notepad++. We will see the code over here, which was copied from our page, the JavaScript page which I gave you the examples. So we are allowed to use code, we're allowed to reuse code, as you can see, and just knowing how to use it, that is the issue, and I'm just showing you how to use it now. So this is in the JavaScript file called script.js. Now none of this is going to work unless we put in the actual page that we're going to use JavaScript right at the top in the head section. As you can see, there's your head section. This has to be added. It is the link to the JavaScript file called script.js. Just like you had to have a link to your CSS file, in the head you have to have a link to your JavaScript file, and you have to put that in every page that you're going to use the JavaScript file. Right, so that is the news ticker, but there's just one thing, the news ticker message. We don't really want it to say what it's saying. So we go to the script.js and we can replace this with some breaking news item, maybe. Breaking news, exclamation mark, student wins chef of the year award at national competition. So any message that you want to add, you can put that there. Then you also make sure that you do file save all, and then we're going to run it and see what it says. Is it right? There it is. So there's your news ticker around the top. Take note, it's in the body section. Right, next thing. Did that, so we're fine. Now about making the pictures larger when the mouse moves over them, moves over them, and then when the mouse moves away from them, then they can go smaller. So we do that in this tie page. As you can see, we have, they go large and then they go back to small when we move the mouse over them. How did we do that? So what happens is, in the JavaScript file, we have this function called show large and this function called show normal. And where did we get that? The same place. You can see that we have the functions there. So it's function show large, a function show normal, and in brackets you have to have a parameter. We call them parameters. And what is going to be included in the HTML file is these two lines, this line over here, and it's after every image src tag. It's inside the image src tag, img src equals, and then we have the on mouse over equals show large. That is referring to that function called show large, and the on mouse out is referring to the show normal, is calling the show normal function, and you put a word, this, any word that you want, in brackets, and that just gives an indication that this image is going to be resized when the on mouse over or on mouse out event is called. Well, when the mouse moves over or moves away. So we'll go to our tie page and see where did we put that for this picture, moving the mouse over the pictures. We're going to open the tie page in our Notepad++, or Notepad if you don't have Notepad++. You go and find the pictures. Down here, as you can see, we have image tie 1, tie 2, tie 3, and as you can see, tie 1 I did not put an on mouse over and on mouse out, but I can do that. I'm just going to copy and paste it so that it goes into here. Control C, put it in there. That didn't work now, did it? Let's get it undo. Let's go and try that again. We have the on mouse out showing large, and on mouse on mouse over showing large, and on mouse out showing normal. And I'm going to attempt again to copy and paste it into there. There we go, that worked. So as you can see now, this picture, tie 1, there's a tie 2, and there's a tie 3, and there's a tie 4. They're both going to be using on mouse over and on mouse out. You'll notice there's an on click. We're going to talk about that later, but we're talking about the on mouse over, on mouse out. So we've put it inside our IMG tags. Do file, save all. And let's run it and make sure that this first page is also, the first picture, as you can see, there it's large now. And when I take it away, the mouse goes away, then it goes back to its normal size or smaller size, and then and so on. Right, so that is how we did that. Now, how did we make it so that when we click on the picture, okay, it's going large as well, but we're clicking on the picture and we want it to be displayed there. If I click on this picture, then it gets displayed there. If I click on the picture, come on, then it gets displayed there. When I click on this picture, then it gets displayed there. How did I do that? Well, that was quite tricky. First of all, in this particular image, as you can see, this is an image file. It's an image, not so. Well, we've got a whole lot of images in this one section. Let me explain by showing you the actual page. It is the tie page. As you can see, there are 4 images lined up here. 4 of them. You don't see all of them because when we click on one page, we have an on click where we display tie 1 for this picture, small tie1.jpg. So I've actually put 1, 2, 3, 4 IMGs tags with 4 different pictures, and if we didn't have our on click and so on, our on click events here to display only those pictures, then they would all be bunched up together or next to each other. So we don't want them all next to each other, which is why we have an on click event here where it only displays one picture at a time. Now, how did that happen? So in the actual, this is the HTML tie.html page. So for tie 1, which is that first picture that comes up when we run the program, this one, I'll show it again, home page, and then we go to tie. First picture, that's tie 1. How did it happen that the other pictures are not all over each other? Well, let's go to the page again. Oh, actually I was showing you the wrong thing because it's actually this. Here they are, the sections. These are the 4 pictures next to each other. Sorry, my bad. These are the 4 pictures next to each other. Okay, and when we move over them and so on, but over here we have 4 sections. It's the same concept, so it's nothing much different to what I was saying, it's just a different place. We had section tie 1, a section ID tie 2, section ID tie 3, a section ID tie 4, which also refers to all of the 4 pictures. Tie 1, tie 2, tie 3, and tie 4. But only the first picture actually is being shown. And we have a section ID tie. We're going to come to that later because that is the part that's going to expand. So we're not going to talk about this section over here now. We'll talk about that later. We're talking about these 4 pictures. There's 4 sections here. And they're not, it's also image, okay, large tie, large tie, large tie, large tie. If we go to the this ID called large Thai is a CSS ID. So we're going to go to the CSS file and have a look at that. The cooking styles. Large Thai. So we find the there it is. So it's that actual size, and those three sections okay, let's have a look at it again. Have a look at it again. Where were they? Oh yes, we have to look at it in here. The Thai section ID Thai 1, Thai 2, Thai 3 and Thai 4. In the CSS file we have Thai 1, Thai 2, Thai 3 and Thai 4. And only Thai 1 is displayed because we said Thai 1 display block. The others are not displayed because it says display none. That's very important. That is why we do not see the all four pictures, we only see one inside this Thai page. Here we go. So they're all in four sections, but I've blocked three of them in the CSS code here. Thai 2, 3 and 4 display none. That's blocking it, although it might be funny we say display block, but actually that's displaying the Thai 1 picture. When we say display none, it means they're not going to be displayed. Wrong choice of words, blocking. They're just not visible because display is none. But Thai 1 is definitely being displayed with that line there in the CSS file, which is why we can see Thai 1, Thai page, this one. Those have all displayed none in this section. So we've got four sections over here, but the three are displayed none. Only this one is displayed there. But when we click on this picture, the JavaScript is allowing it to be displayed there. Now how is that happening? Because it's an on-click event. So remember, JavaScript is responding to event by the user clicking on things. So if I click on this picture, then that will be displayed over there in that section. So what is that section called again? In our Thai page, it's called section ID. Thai 1, Thai 2, Thai 3 and Thai 4. Now how did the on-click event of those pictures get displayed? Well, it's calling a function named display Thai 1 and display Thai 2 and display Thai 3, and these are JavaScript functions when the user clicks on it. So we'll go to our JavaScript and have a look at it. What does it say? Display Thai 1. It's got this code: get element by ID Thai 1, style display block. So it's basically getting the Thai 1 picture and displaying it, but the others, Thai 2, Thai 3 and Thai 4, have the display of none. So how did we get this code? If we have a look on the JavaScript document, there it is. Get element by ID. And what is the ID called? Let's go and have a look at our ID that we have. Thai 1, Thai 2, Thai 3 and Thai 4. When we look at our this Thai style, display Thai 1, get element by ID Thai 1, is basically saying that section ID Thai 1, it's the section ID over there, is using a display of block, section ID tie 2 from our cookingstyles.css file, hashtag tie 2, okay, sorry, on the, section ID tie 2, there it is. In the JavaScript file, it's saying get element by ID tie 2, so that section is not going to be displayed. That section, tie 3, here's tie 3, which holds the picture, tie3.jpg, JPG is a JPEG file. Tie 3 is not going to be displayed. Get element ID tie 4 is going to use this section ID, and that is the tie4.jpg, but that is not going to be displayed either because it says display equals none. So only that picture is going to be displayed inside this section ID, tie 1, tie 2, tie 3, and tie 4. And the images are all large tie, in other words, they are sized in the CSS file, which is large tie. So let's go find the large tie size. There it is, large tie, width 300, height, which gives us that large picture there. So remember, there's 4 sections, 3 of them are hidden, and only 1 section is displayed. But when we go and click on here, then section 2 is displayed, and so on. If we have a look at our JavaScript file again, you'll see there's display tie 2, where only tie 2 is actually displayed by using display equals block, block display. And when you say display equals none, there's nothing going to be displayed. So tie 4, and tie 3, those sections, and tie 1 will not be displayed. So it was all a case of choosing which one you want to display for each function. So you have to have all 4 different functions and then choose which one you will be displaying by using display equals block. So that is that one. Now, how did we make the text larger? By moving our mouse over it. So how do we do that? So that one was a bit tricky, and it's not in our notes over here. So we can use the same concept of going over, mouse move over, and so on. We're in the tie page. So on mouse over and on mouse out. So I created a function called large text and another function called normal text. And this is put inside a section which holds the paragraph that I want to have enlarged. So I'll just say on mouse over equals that, on mouse out equals that. The large text is a function in JavaScript. Let's go and find it. There it is, large text. And then I'll just put a word, this text, in as a parameter, which corresponds with this word, this. That's fine, we can just use the word this. And in the JavaScript file, here it is. This is how we change the font size. This text.style.font size equals 20 points. And then back onto the on mouse out, we have a normal text, which is a function in JavaScript. There it says normal text, and in brackets this text, just a parameter you made up. And then we say this text.style.font size equals 12 points, and take note of the formatting with a double inverted comma and the PT. It won't work unless you have it exactly like that. And that is 4 different things that have been put into place with JavaScript, and you can go and apply that now to your own web page, your assessment page, a website, where you see fit. And I hope this helps you. And I'll see you on the next one.